Hey, this is Adam.
And this is Joe. Thanks for downloading our podcast, the Adam and Joe Xfm podcast. We're coming to you this week from an underground train, a London Underground train on the Northern Line. We've just left Kennington Station. We thought we'd record our intro link on this train just to give it a bit of colour, excitement and drama.
Yeah, exactly, because, I mean, it's crazy. Who would think
No,
of...
but it's failed.
Oh, why?
Because we're on a flipping tube train.
Oh, yeah, but
It's filthy and scummy and horrible.
Yeah, well, it's the Northern Line. What do you expect?
It was a bad choice. You know, I don't know about you listeners, but when I'm standing waiting for an underground train, it's a bit like sexy roulette.
In what way?
Well, the tube train is like a roulette wheel, only stretched out into a long tube.
Yeah.
And each container is like, you know, a number that the ball might fall into. But because it's sexy roulette, what I'm saying is which carriages will have the sexiest people in it?
The hottest ladies.
The hottest ladies.
Well, when the tube arrives, do you actually have a quick look and then change carriages if there's some more hot ladies?
I scan
in
the
next
carriages.
One down?
I tend to believe that the central carriages usually have the sexiest people because that's where the tourists go. Tourists tend not to stray to the extreme ends of the platforms. That's where London livers... Is that an expression? That's where London livers go, to the extreme end of the platform. Tourists, who tend to be sexier just because they live in sunnier countries, they're on holiday, they're more relaxed. Mm-hmm. They're young, they've got money, backpacks. They tend to go in the middle of the platform.
So, you're preying on the tourists, mainly?
Well, they don't speak English, and they can't tell things about you that
they can't
British
fight
people
back.
can. They can't fight back, exactly. Their legal systems are different. The possibility of extradition is much smaller.
Well, we've got on kind of a bad carriage then.
This is an unsexy carriage. There's an old sandwich wrapper. There's a bloke over there eating KFC. There's a man with his headphones on so loud it sounds like he's, I don't know, listening to a band that just play 1,000 cymbals and nothing else.
Let's just have a quick listen to this guy. It's outrageous. Are you going to say anything?
No, his own punishment is listening to that crap.
Why, shouldn't we make some faces at him or something, or just sort of... have you never done that before? Have you never just said to someone, "Can you turn it down"?
No, I'd get stabbed.
You'd get stabbed, wouldn't you? No one wants to intervene on the underground. It's the most dangerous transportation system in the
trapped.
world.
If something goes wrong, you are trapped.
You are trapped.
We'll have a bit of podcast, then maybe we should deal with it after that.
Yeah, okay. We'll be back shortly.
But here's the text competition, right? Now, this text competition is about killing.
It's sort of unpleasant.
It's about murder.
Yeah.
But not of people or anything that would be illegal. We don't want you texting in about the people you've killed.
No. Don't want to get into that.
Keep that to yourself.
Yeah, it's a legal minefield.
I'm talking about legal murder. For instance, snail killing.
Right.
Going into the garden late at night, wearing a pair of socks, treading on a snail.
Oy.
That's the most horrible thing you can do in the world.
Or even barefoot. You must have done that.
Barefoot's even worse, but there's something about a sock because the snail, you know, flesh goes into the sock and you've got a little wet patch of death on the heel of your sock.
Death patch.
But, you know, you tread on the snail, the crunching sound, the fact that it's not fully dead. No, it's like a man with a greenhouse on his back, and you've shattered the greenhouse and big shards of glass are slicing into his body. It's like a Dario Argento film.
Oh.
And and what can you do?
Well,
Cry for the snail?
You could kind of treat it like a Jaffa cake, and you could peel the bits of shell.
Why would you want to do that?
Off the back. I'm not suggesting you eat the thing.
That's a sort of Buffalo Bill kind of thing to do.
No, but you might be able to save him. That's what I'm saying.
I was looking for ideas like, has anybody ever tried to superglue the shell back together? If you hadn't killed the snail underneath fully, you could rescue the snail and then get superglue and try and piece the snail back together, or maybe just get a cotton reel and stick it on the top of the snail and hope it doesn't notice. Maybe I tell you what to do, a Kinder Egg shell.
That's a good idea.
Get one of those yellow Kinder Egg shells, cut a hole in either end, pop the snail in. It'll be the bell of the snail ball. Oh, Mandy, where do you get that yellow shell?
Look at your new shell.
It's lovely.
Is that a prefab? I trod on a frog.
Oh, that's bad. Treading on a frog.
But that's really bad, though, isn't it? Because people keep frogs as pets. It was accidental. Again, it was a nighttime thing, and I'd gone out into the garden barefoot one hot summer night and accidentally squished this frog. But, you know, sorry, all my stories go a bit weird and dark. I don't think I completely got the guy. You know, I just felt a crunching under my foot and immediately went, oh my God! And, you know, and then I just went into the house in disgust, and the next day it was gone. So I think it must have crawled off.
You think it would? Oh, that's disturbing.
So listen, this has already got into quite a weird area. Mainly my fault, I have to admit. But how do we judge who wins this competition?
Well, I guess we just go for the most moving... We go for the most moving accidental creature death.
Right.
You know, we're not looking to celebrate this. We're looking to share your pain and the agony of accidentally killing a living thing. I think all living things, however big and small, are God's creatures.
Yeah.
God created everything that creepeth upon the earth.
That's true, he did, didn't he?
Proverbs 6. Right?
Yeah.
So they're all valuable.
Absolutely.
So yeah, text us in your accidental animal deaths.
That sounds interesting, let's talk about it. Let's start talking now.
Noodles, Joe. I wanted to talk about noodles.
Noodles.
Specifically, the pot kind.
Pot noodles, yeah.
Yeah, you know, have you seen that advert where they're in the mine? They're in the pot noodle mine. It's a crazy advert, you know, putting forth the idea that noodles actually come from noodle mines. Imagine.
Right, I have seen that advert. It's kind of, yeah, exactly, making it like Welsh miners, but they're, instead of being covered in coal dust, they're covered in noodles.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've got a number of problems. I don't know how you feel about it, on several different levels with the noodles, with the noodle mines. The first of which being, you know, just the logical inconsistency of the whole thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you were mining for noodles, surely the noodles in the rocks would be in a solid form.
Yeah, the problem is that the problem is that there's a lot of is's in that sentence, isn't there? The problem is that the noodles are moist. What's going on there? You wouldn't mine moist noodles.
No, they just flop out of the wall.
They'd be in their solid state, like they are when you buy them in the supermarket in a packet.
In packets, exactly.
Yeah.
In a hard...
The water has not been added
nest.
yet. And if they were moist, then the two rock stratas above and below them would crush them into some sort of a noodly powder.
A paste, a kind of...
A noodly paste.
Exactly.
And what's more, I think it's insulting to people whose families were involved in you know, industrial mining industries in the north.
Yeah, like your dad.
What Thatcher ruined.
That's
like
right.
My dad was a miner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you laughing?
And he was on the pickets.
He worked hard, you know?
Exactly.
It's not that long since the miners' strike and policemen were battering people over their heads and making their noses bleed and stuff. Is it?
No, absolutely. I mean, you know, that was one of the most serious... That ruined thousands of lives. Maybe even... 10,000s of lives.
Yeah.
And that was a big contentious issue, and now it's been reduced to the level of
taking the mickey.
Noodle mine. I mean, I was thinking they may as well, like, if you... a similar thing would be for Marmite, to do an advert where there's like a lady in the 50s and she's on a bus and she likes Marmite and she's forced to sit at the back of the bus, like like Rosa Parks.
Right.
You know, why not take the mick out of that?
Yeah, they wouldn't trivialise that,
No,
would
exactly. Exactly, that's my point. The pot noodle mines.
It makes us very, very angry.
You're so angry, you know, and just at least sort out the inconsistencies of the noodles. Are they hard or are they soft? Or in the mines?
You know, who eats pot noodle anyway?
Who does eat pot noodle?
They're just like tubular crisps.
Tubular bells.
With a packet of flavouring.
Yeah.
You know?
A bit of ketchup.
Is that, because they're made by Golden Wonder as well, aren't they, pot noodles?
Right, yeah.
They're just the same as crisps. Do you think you could have the same effect by getting a mug of hot water, popping some crisps in? It would probably taste about the same.
That's right.
It's just the dimensions and the surface area that's different.
That's true.
It's true. Think about that. There's not a lot more to be said
Let's
now.
try it during the news.
During the noodle news.
The noodle news.
That was interesting, we talked about it. Let's stop talking now.
This is Adam and Joe Xfm, London's 104.9. We've been asking you to text in, accidental animal death. You know, treading on snails, treading on frogs, and frankly, listeners, we're getting some quite disturbing stuff in.
It's opened up the trauma floodgates.
I mean, it's that, you know, everybody as a kid has to experience mortality one way or another, and usually it's not through killing a person.
No, you know, everyone has a dark side.
Well, now, hang on, Adam, again, you're making a massive leap. I'm talking about accidental killing, not the emergence of someone's dark side to voluntarily kill something.
I'm saying that...
I'm talking about involuntary killing.
I know, but it's all sort of linked. You've got to kill kill the things.
I'm co-presenting with a madman.
The fluffy, kill them.
So listen, here we go. Here's one from Little Jason. Little Jason is already the name of a serial killer. Little Jason this afternoon was sentenced to life. So listen, little Jason says this. I used to work on a duck farm when I was a wee boy, and once had to put one out of its misery as it was crushed and nearly dead. So, I picked it up by its legs and smashed it over a rock. I cried for about 20 minutes.
That's
Yours, little Jason. Jeepers
Sandhurst
creepers.
prison.
But at least he cried for 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but the smashing over a rock doesn't really marry with the crying for 20 minutes.
No,
bit,
because
does it?
he was doing his duty. Same
Was
as
he?
me. Same as me with the. I had to. I was nothing.
Here's another one. I once crushed the class gerbil at school under my knee when I was 9. Crushed it accidentally under the knee. Then, in order not to be caught, put it under a rock to pretend it had fallen under it. How does an animal... How do you fall under a rock?
That's what he'd tell the
Accidentally
cops.
trip... You'd have to have a wedge-shaped head and fall with quite a lot of velocity to actually land under a rock.
You'd have to be on a skateboard heading towards the rock and then fall forward.
It's usually the rock that does the falling, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but there we go. He or she was only... Martin in South Norwood. Thanks for that. My cat drank green paint from the shed when we lived in Ireland. I still suspect my parents.
No.
Says James in Enfield. James, you've got unresolved issues with your parents. Why would they kill your cat by forcing paint down its throat?
That's insanity. If your parents are the kind of people who would do that, then there's bigger problems.
And why would the cat drink the paint? No, that's nice. The cats talk like that because they can't articulate. They got no lips. Oh, glossy. It's glossy, yeah. It's glossy. That's what they'd like. The glossiness.
Yeah, because they think it was good for their coat.
I mean, white paint they might mistake for milk, but green paint, what is it? Avocado soup? Avocado soup.
Yeah.
I've trod on 3 frogs, twice in bare feet. They make a strange popping noise, and you end up doing that crazy stubbed toe, oh my god, dance.
That's right.
That's true. Well, that's the worst thing about treading on snails. You tread on one, feel remorse, step backwards, tread on another.
Yeah.
It's like a dance of death.